advice.
So, advice is really important. Often we need to seek advice, don't we? If we
Yeah.
need some help, there's something we don't know, there's something we don't understand, any of those things. If you find yourself in that position, then do go and seek advice. There are plenty of places out there, whether it's a good driver that you know, whether it's a local driving instructor, whether it's on the internet or social media.
And one thing to do with that advice is, but check it. Something you might trust someone and it's okay, but most importantly is just to check that advice. One of your friends might have given you a little bit of advice on how to do a particular task. Just check it. Practice it if you need to see if it makes sense to you. Because sometimes what works for one person might not work for someone else.
Yeah.
And if you're teaching someone to drive as well, is the advice that you're giving to them based on what you would do? Or is it advice based on what would help the person you're teaching?
Yeah. So beware advice as well as seeking advice. Make sure that you check the source. Is it credible? Is it valid? Is it reliable? So that you're then making decisions on advice that is the most helpful possible.
Yeah, because you might have advice. You might look on one of the, I'd say, YouTube videos that are out there, and you think, oh, okay, that's pretty good. But then you'll go, no, it's not. I've not been taught to do it that way. So the advice that someone else gives you could actually affect what you've been taught to do and you know is correct. So just be aware that some advice is going to be good, some advice is going to be not good, but it's up to you to take in what you need or what you can just disregard.
Yeah. And on that point, if somebody gives you a helpful piece of advice the day before your driving test, which contradicts something that your driving instructor has told you, then really consider whose advice you trust the most before changing something about your driving the day before or on the day of your driving test.
I can relate to that because someone on a driving test drove really slowly because his friends had said to him, what you can do is you can drive really slowly and you won't go as far. You'll still do the time, but you won't go as far, so you don't make less mistakes. Now, unfortunately, he just drove slow everywhere, and that caused him to fail his test. So beware of the advice that you were given.